anything else you want to ask me? I don't know what we were talking about.
Is there one tool that you could not sew without? What would it be?
My ripper.
Ah.
Because you always find something that you have to rip.
That's great.
I am, and in fact, when you do alterations, you do a lot of ripping and sewing over. I have a fine ripper, which I like the best to use. But of course, I use my little little scissors. I have a pair of scissors that really have a sharp point, and I use that as a ripper too to cut the threads.
You like to work from pattern, but I also know that you really enjoyed your dress form. So do you remember when? Tell me about that. When did you get it?
Oh, I must have bought that about 1970s, and I used that to make my dresses. Boy, that was so nice to have.
Did you just then put, like, when you put pieces of the pattern together, that you just put it on there and make adjustments, or?
Yeah, well, I put the pattern pieces on first and see what adjustments I have to make. Yeah, and I didn't usually have to make too much adjustment when I get a certain size pattern. But then when I moved, I said, gee, where am I going to put that in the apartment, I sold it for $20. I wish I wouldn't have sold it, though.
Yeah.
I could have kept it in the corner here someplace and put something pretty on it and let it stand. But I guess you like to use yours, too.
I do. And I when I am creating or compositing from different fabrics, I think it's helpful, definitely. But I don't have much experience with draping, and I would like to get into that a little bit. I guess essentially what I'm doing is draping when I composite fabrics together. Do you have any experience draping?
You know what? Sometimes you can turn that material inside out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And use the back, and then you can pin your darts in, and then you have it done.
I must say I need a lot more practice on darts. They're so difficult for me.
Really?
If I get one right, the one on the left or the opposite side, the mirrored side, it's not right, or it's not the same.
Well, you have to. You know what? You have to measure it. You have to mark it. Don't you mark it?
Well,
where the dot should start and where it should end.
That's something I'm working on, Granny. I'm not really good with the craft of sewing. So yes,
You have to mark exactly where you want to end it on each side before you sew it.
Okay.
I always use tailor tacks, and I guess you don't know what that means.
What is that?
That tailor tack is just, oh boy, it must be in your Butterick book.
Okay.
I believe it tells you how to make a tailor tack.
Okay. I no doubt it's in there. 25 cents, this book. 25 cents, 63 pages. It's so good. It's so good. I've inherited, things from you and things from Aunt Dolly. And so I'm not sure if it came from you. I don't think it did. Maybe it was Aunt Dolly, but I've kind of got a hodgepodge of helpful items. And so I pulled out something on a roll, like a ribbon, but it was a web. It looked like a web. Immediately you responded back via text message saying that it was wizard stitch? No. Something. What was that?
Oh, I know what you mean. That real sheer white sheer.
Yeah.
It's white. It actually has glue on each side. That's Stitch Witchery. That's it.
Stitch Witchery. That's right.
Witchery.
That's right.
Yeah. It has people use that to make hymns. They press in a hem, and they put that inside and press that Stitch Witchery, and it fits. That's it. They have the hymn done.
So how do you feel about that? It seems like a very helpful tool, but at the same time, do you really need to end up stitching it if it adheres to the fabric?
No, it's supposed to adhere. It's supposed to, I never do that, because I always think it's going to fall apart when you wash it, but it's not supposed to. So I don't know. I never really experienced using it. I always hemmed and I always sewed them. I sewed my hems.
Yeah. How many machines have you had?
How many machines have I had? Not too many, because I had some good machines.
Okay.
The first one I had was a Singer.
Okay.
And I had that for a while, and then I gave it to Patty.
Was it electric, like mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were all electric machines, just like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I had. And then I bought my Bernina, and when I bought the Bernina, I still kept my own old Singer sewing machine, and I was sewing that at least once a year, because you have to sew on it so it doesn't freeze up.
Okay.
And it always sewed good. I always had the best stitches on that machine.